Hi, I'm Marcus Cupola, and this is Gray Zone Therapy. Life isn't black and white, life is the gray zone between. That's where we start. So this video is about modesty. And you might remember me from such modesty videos as, oh, it's not my best one. And, oh, thank you so much. Well, thank you so much, I appreciate that. Being modest is being unassuming or moderate in estimation of one's own abilities. What we think of in terms of modesty on a day-to-day basis is somebody who's really good at something but doesn't make a big deal about it, right? Being unassuming. Now, this is something that we all aspire to, right? We want to be modest because we value modesty. This is a good quality in a person. However, you're only modest if other people see what you're doing, see that you're doing it really well, and they compliment you, and only then can you be unassuming and moderate in estimation of your own abilities. So here's the problem. Modesty really only counts when other people notice. Now, this is a bit of a conflict, because in order to be modest, I actually have to be really good at something, and then I have to not speak about it, but you have to notice it. Well, crap, that's a really difficult thing to be, isn't it? How can I possibly be modest if nobody notices? Well, if we're quiet, or if we're unassuming, this is a problem because people often tend to ignore somebody who's quiet. There's even a phrase for it. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Right? The loud person gets the attention. In fact, the person who brags often receives more positive feedback than somebody who is modest. So this is a problem. If we are virtuous and we are modest, unassuming, and not pushing ourselves out there to other people, it really is kind of not valued. Right? Modesty requires recognition. But recognition is at odds with the quality of achieving modesty. I don't have an answer. I have no idea how to get around this. The whole point here was to bring to your attention that in order to be modest, we need a bunch of these other things to occur that are not in themselves actually modest. Right? You have to be really good at something for people to notice it. And then they have to speak to you about it. If you're really good and people notice it but nobody says anything, then you're just being quiet. And being quiet is often not valued. Being quiet can often be punished because our boss won't notice that we've done a good job. Our partner won't notice that we were there. So the goal of being modest can actually really harm us at times because our society simply doesn't work that way. We value it, but that's the contradiction. Our society values it. However, our society does not actually value it if you think in terms of rewarding it. Because in order to reward it, people must be aware. That kind of negates the unassuming and moderateness of your approach. Now, some of you are saying to yourselves, well, Marcus, then why bring this up? Why simply drop a bomb on us and then exit? Fair point. I do try and wrap things up a little bit and give you a what we should do about it type of piece. So here's what we should do about it. If you are noticing that you're good at something, being modest doesn't mean saying nothing. It means being unassuming. Unassuming doesn't mean we say nothing. And being moderate with being moderate with the estimation of one's abilities does not mean that we say we'll do a bad job. Does not mean that we undercut ourselves. We can be unassuming in the way we approach ourselves. For example, yes, I think I'm capable of doing a very good job of that. I have quite a bit of experience, and most of my clients are very happy. That's a moderate approach. I'm being unassuming. I'm not putting anybody down. But I am also saying, I'm pretty good at this. Right? I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying someone else is the worst. So this could fit the unassuming and the moderate aspects. At first glance, moderate is at odds with a lot of what we actually need to do to get ahead. But with a little bit of finesse, you can be both moderate and put yourself out there. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching. Hold on a second. I was actually done and had to come back and do this piece because there's something that popped into my head. Well, what about false modesty? When somebody pretends to have a low opinion of themselves. Basically is kind of fishing for compliments. We tend to pick up on this fairly well. We can usually figure out when someone is being disingenuous. False modesty is when someone espouses an arbitrarily low opinion of themselves or their abilities in order to elicit a positive response from somebody else. Being modest about your abilities does not necessarily mean you're going to elicit that response, and people pick up on when it's disingenuous. Take care, and we'll see you next time.